What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about 5 guns that'll blow your mind. Now, I picked these guns based off how fun they were to shoot or how much they surprised me, because some of these guns weren't supposed to be as good as they actually are. We have a good selection of guns for this. We got a couple big ones, we got a couple small ones, and we even have a wheel gun. So stay tuned if you're interested in some awesome guns. I think this will be a fun video. Let's get right into it here with number 5. We have the CZ Shadow 2. Now the CZ Shadow 2 is a double single action pistol with a steel frame and a steel slide. It is an affordable gun for a competition gun, coming in at about $1,000, but it packs a shitload of fun in that package. It has a very long dust cover. It has a very small slide with internal slide rails, allowing the mass on top to be very low, giving you a very shootable experience. Add to that it has a very awesome trigger. We have a 2-pound single action pull with around a 6-pound double action pull, allowing you to get very accurate shots very quickly. Quick reset on the gun, and the long dust cover allows a lot of weight out front to keep that gun flat while you shoot it. Now for $1,000, I would argue this is probably the most shootable gun you can get, and I think that's mind-blowing in and of itself, but also happens to be one of the most reliable guns I've ever owned. I use this particular gun here for Carry Optics Division for the last 2 years, but I've shot a Shadow in and out of competition for almost a decade, and I can tell you that not only are they affordable, but they are very reliable as well. A big hunk of steel that never misses is certainly a good entry for number 5. In at number 4, we have the Voodoo Gunworks Priest. Hit. 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 Now this is a double stack 1911 pistol with a steel slide and an aluminum frame that you can trick out any way you want. I actually picked one of these up and chose the exact specifications I wanted. I got the 2-pound trigger, I got the long dust cover, I got the slide serrations, and most of all, I got the new integrated optics mounting system that Voodoo does here. And Voodoo is probably the only company that I think does this. At least it's the only company I've ever seen that actually has a slide that they make right from the factory that accepts a dot without a plate system. Now the good part about that is you get your dot a little bit lower. The great part about that is that it's much more reliable because you reduce the failure points possible with a plate system. The plate system can break, the screws in the plate system can break, or they can loosen under your optic, making it a real pain in the ass if you tighten down your optics as much as I do. If you want to eliminate all that and have a direct mounted system, I think the Voodoo is the only game in town for 2011s. The reason for that is because 2011 slides are traditionally very thin. They have to use an adapter plate just to fit the bigger optic on there. Most 2011 makers don't make their own slides. Voodoo does, so they were able to customize it the way they wanted, and I think they did a hell of a job. On top of that, they made the optics mounting system back a little ways, so if you want to run an SRO, it doesn't go over the ejection port like it does on a lot of handguns, causing malfunctions. The best part about the Voodoo though is that it comes in around the $3,000 to $4,000 price point depending on what you get, and it's just as shootable as an $8,000 gun. I got these 4 ports at top, I got this 2-pound trigger, and I got this awesome Chile grip with mediocre texture on the outside and extremely aggressive texture on the inside, which I think is a Chile grip that they only make for the Voodoo Gunworks pistol. Certainly a mind-blowing gun and one of the best shooting pistols that we've ever had on them. If you want one of the best shooting pistols on the market, that is a solid way to go. In at number 3, we have our big iron. This is the Taurus Raging Hunter 44 Magnum. Now this is an 8-inch 44 Magnum with 8 V-ports in the barrel and a Picatinny rail for optics. It has a double lockup on the cylinder here that allows you to have 6 shots of 44 Magnum. Now, the mind-blowing part about this gun is sort of that it exists at all, considering that Taurus traditionally doesn't make guns this good. But I can tell you, at least from my personal experience with this one gun, this is one of the most shootable 44 Magnums I've ever had. Add to the fact that it comes out between $800 and $1,000, which, if you're not into the big bore Magnum game, is actually pretty affordable, is another really awesome thing about it. Now, I have a Colt Anaconda, which is kind of what you would consider to be the gold standard of 44 Magnum, and I can honestly honestly say the Taurus is a more shootable gun. Not only does it have a better trigger out of the factory, the single action on this is only about 3 pounds, which is really awesome for Taurus, but the grip itself, since it's engineered a little bit differently and it has this big honk and rubber grip, is actually really comfortable when you shoot it. Now add the 8-inch barrel and the 8 ports at the end, and you actually have pretty low recoil for that big round of 44 Magnum. And this is actually one of those guns that I actually recommend to people who want to get into handgun shooting for deer and stuff like that, since 44 Magnum is usually legal in your area, and this is accurate up to 100 yards without the dot. I think it's a great entry-level choice, and certainly mind-blowing that you can get a solid 44 Magnum for around 800 bucks. Now, in at number 2, we have my Shield Plus Performance Center. This is actually my Shield Plus that was done up by Floyd Custom, and it is unique to Shield Pluses. Not only does it have the twin ports up front that the Shield Plus Performance Center has, but mine also has an optic system on it on the 3-inch barrel. I also lighten the slide, which gives it the lowest slide mass you can have on a Shield Plus. Now, when I give the Shield Plus to people that usually shoot a 365 or maybe a Taurus G series, they are so pleasantly surprised that they want to get one. As a matter of fact, every time my wife shoots a 365, I hand her this because I'm trying to turn her into a Smith girl, and I'm getting pretty close. I feel like it made you shoot better.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm turning into a Shield Plus girl, honestly.
Everyone who shoots it does. Why the Shield Plus is so mind-blowingly awesome is partly due to the 2.0 trigger, which breaks right at 90 degrees, allowing a longer trigger reach than a lot of micro 9s, eliminating that issue that most people have with their hands being too big for a tiny gun. The Shield Plus also has a little bit wider grip, which you don't notice in carry because it's so very thin here, but it's actually a little bit wider here than a 365, giving you more real estate to hold on to it. But the absolutely best part about it is that the gun weighs a lot less than a Glock 26, but it shoots like a Glock 17 because it has those V ports up front, that very light and slide, and you have that optic system making up for the lack of sight radius. So you're still able to shoot very far away, you're still able to shoot very quickly, but you're able to do it with this tiny little package. Certainly quite a mighty mouse of a gun, and definitely mind-blowing if you're used to other micro 9s. Now, there won't be any honorable mentions for this list because I came up with another 5, so I think I'll probably do another list of these guns next month if you guys are interested. And if you are, let me know in the comment section below. That being said, we're going to get into it with number 1 here with, I think, the obvious choice, which is the Lago Arms Alien. Now, the Lago Arms Alien has been blowing mine since 2020, and I actually got to shoot this at SHOT Show, and I was unbelievably impressed. One of the most revolutionary and one of the most unique handguns that's ever been made. The only way I can really describe it is a mix between a CZ75 and an HKP7 on steroids with some spinner rims. The gun itself is unique not only for its bore axis, which we'll get to in a second, but the slide itself reciprocates without the top rail, allowing you to have way lower mass going back and forth than you normally would. Also, the dot happens to stay right where it is, allowing you to track it slightly better. It has an absolutely amazing trigger in it, and it runs a gas system, giving it a very unique recoil and pulse. On top of that, you have that lower bore axis than any other handgun on the market. Any handgun that says they have the lowest bore axis on the market has not seen the Lago Arms Alien, because it's actually lower than the web of your hand. Now, it's certainly you have to get used to it because it doesn't have a lack of recoil, it has a lack of muzzle flip.
Oh my God, I actually really like that recoil impulse. It coming back feels a lot better, and it doesn't have that boat rock.
So instead of the gun rocking up and rocking back down as you shoot it, it kind of punches you in the hand and comes back. Now, the dot almost never leaves the target, which is really great, but it is a recoil impulse that you have to get used to a little bit. But once you get used to it, the gun is absolutely incredible. That 2011 trigger in those CZ ergonomics with the awesome grip texture, the magwell, and all the fixings that come with the Lago Arms Alien allows it to be one of the most unique and one of the most fun experiences you can have with a handgun. I've had 3 versions of this pistol, and although I own the original, the one I liked the best was the Creator Edition Limited, which we gave away, and hopefully someday I'll get my grubby hands on another one. Overall though, I think the Alien is certainly worth the buy just to put up in your wall at home because it's so weird looking. That being said, unlike a lot of wall hanging guns that suck, like for example my Tommy built G36, the Lago Arms Alien is not only accurate, but it is also reliable, and it's super fun. Overall, I hope you guys like this list. If you did, let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.